My son's wife, Linda, stood in my kitchen and told me something I'll never forget. Your needs will always come after ours. We have to think of ourselves first. My son Marcus was right there. He nodded his head like it was the most normal thing in the world. I waited for him to say something different. To remember who raised him. To remember who was there when he was sick as a little boy. But he just stood there. Then he said, "Mom, Linda's right about this." Something inside me felt like it cracked. Not loud. Just quiet. Like when ice breaks on a frozen lake. Nobody hears it, but it's broken forever. I looked at them both. I smiled a small smile. "Okay," I said. "I understand now." And I did understand. I understood that I needed to make some big changes in my life. That night I went home alone. My apartment was small. Just 2 rooms. The paint on the walls was old and yellow. The floors made noise when I walked. Out my window, I could only see the parking lot and a store that stayed open all night. There were no trees. There was no nice view. But this was all I could pay for after I sold my big house. My house. The house where Marcus grew up. It had 3 bedrooms and a pretty garden with flowers. The kitchen was big with windows that looked out at the yard. 5 years ago, after my husband died, I sold that house. Marcus and Linda told me they needed money to buy their first home. "Mom, this helps all of us," Marcus said. "You'll come live with us later anyway. Why do you need such a big place alone?" I believed him. I trusted my own son. I gave them almost all the money. $190,000. I kept only $35,000 for myself to rent this small apartment. They bought a beautiful house. 2 floors, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, big garage, a backyard with a swimming pool. I used to go there every Sunday to see my grandchildren, Emma and Tyler. I would cook food on Saturday nights. I made chicken, rice, soup, and other meals. I would clean their kitchen after we ate. I washed all the dishes. I folded their clothes. Linda was always busy. She went to exercise classes. She met friends for lunch. She got her hair and nails done. Marcus played golf every Sunday morning. He came home late. He never asked how I was feeling. He never said thank you for watching his kids. I was just there. Like a piece of furniture. The kids loved spending time with me. Emma is 11 years old. She has beautiful long blonde hair and sweet blue eyes. She always hugged me when I came over. "Grandma, I'm so happy you're here." Tyler is 7. He's a quiet boy. He loves to build things with his toy blocks. He would show me everything he made. I kept pictures of them in my apartment. Those pictures were the only thing that made me feel like someone cared. But 3 months ago everything changed. Marcus started answering my phone calls in a different way. "Mom, I'm busy right now. What do you need?" Like calling him was bothering him. I stopped going over every Sunday. I waited for them to ask me to come. 2 weeks went by. Then 3 weeks. Nobody called me. So I called them. "Can I come see Emma and Tyler this Sunday?" Marcus let out a big breath. "Not this Sunday, Mom. We have family plans." Family. That word hurt me. I wasn't part of their family plans. I wasn't family to them. I was something else. Something they used when they wanted something. Yesterday they called me. It was Linda. Her voice sounded sweet. Too sweet. "Margaret, we want you to come for dinner tomorrow. We haven't talked in so long. We miss you." I didn't trust it. Something felt wrong. But I said yes. I wanted to believe they cared. I wanted to believe they remembered everything I did for them. I got to their house at 7 o'clock. I rang the doorbell. Linda opened the door. She was wearing a fancy dress. Her makeup was perfect. He kissed my cheek. Felt cold. "Hi, Margaret. Come sit down. Dinner is ready soon." I walked inside. Everything looked perfect. The floors were shiny. The furniture looked expensive. There was a big fancy light hanging in the dining room. All of this was bought with my money. Marcus came out from the kitchen. He was dressed nice too. We sat down to eat. Linda brought out turkey, potatoes, and bread. She poured wine into tall glasses. We raised our glasses. Marcus said, "To family." I lifted my glass but said nothing. We ate without talking much. I could only hear forks hitting plates. The clock on the wall ticking. I waited for them to tell me why they really asked me here. Finally Marcus spoke. "Mom, we need to talk about something important." He wiped his mouth with his napkin. He looked at Linda. She nodded. "We've been thinking about our family. We need to set some rules. Some boundaries." Boundaries. I felt cold all of a sudden. "Linda and I have our own life now," Marcus said. "We have our kids, a house, our money to take care of. We need to focus on us. On our immediate family." He stopped talking. He looked right at me. "You're important, Mom. But you can't expect us to always be there for you." I had never asked them to always be there for me. I was the one who was always there for them. Linda took over talking. Her voice sounded like she practiced what to say. "Margaret, you understand, right? We have to think about ourselves first. About Emma and Tyler. About our future." She took a breath. Then she said the words. "My family always comes first. You're always last." The room went silent. So silent I could hear my own heartbeat. I looked at my son. The baby I fed. The little boy I took care of when he had a bad fever. The teenager who cried when his first girlfriend broke up with him. The man I gave everything to. Waited. I waited for him to say she was wrong. To say he didn't mean it like that. But he didn't. He just sat there looking at me. "Mom, Linda's right," Marcus said. His voice was strong. No doubt. No sorry feelings. I could have stood up and yelled. I could have cried. But I didn't. I picked up my wine glass. I took a small sip. I put it down carefully. Smiled. A small, quiet smile. "Good to know," I said. Marcus looked confused. Linda frowned. They thought I would cry. They thought I would beg them to love me. I gave them nothing. I stood up. I folded my napkin. I put it next to my plate. "Thank you for dinner. It was very good." I walked to the door. I picked up my purse and my keys. "Mom." Marcus followed me. "Are you okay?" "I'm perfectly fine," I said. "You just told me something very important. And I understand now." I walked out of that house. Got in my car. It was an old blue car with scratches on the side. I started the engine. I drove home through empty streets. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat on my couch looking at the wall. The yellow paint was peeling. There was a water stain that looked like a cloud. I thought about everything I lost to get here. To this small place. To this loneliness. I remembered when Marcus was born. It was a hard birth. 20 hours of pain. My husband held my hand the whole time. When the nurse put Marcus in my arms, I cried. He was perfect. So small. So perfect. The first years were beautiful. I worked part-time at a flower shop. My husband worked at a bank. We didn't have much money. But we had enough. We lived in a tiny apartment. Marcus slept in a small bed next to ours. At night, I would feed him and listen to him breathe. Felt like magic. When Marcus was 5, we bought our first house. It was small but it had a yard. I planted roses by the front door. Pink and yellow roses. Marcus helped me water them. He got his hands dirty in the soil. He laughed. That laugh was the most beautiful sound in the world. My husband worked long hours. He left at 6 in the morning. He came home at 8 at night. I stopped working to take care of Marcus full-time. I cooked, cleaned, took him to school, helped with homework. We were happy. Least I thought we were. When Marcus was 13, my husband had a heart attack. He lived, but the doctor said he had to rest more. Less work. Better food. He left his job and started working from home. We made less money. I went back to work. I got a job at a coffee shop. I worked early mornings. I left at 4 in the morning. Came home at noon. I slept for 2 hours, then made dinner. I helped Marcus with homework. We ate together. Then I went to bed early to wake up at 3:30 again. Marcus never complained. He was a good student. He was responsible. He kept his room clean. But something changed when he started high school. He became distant. He spent hours in his room. He barely talked at dinner. When I asked if everything was okay, he said, "Yes, Mom. I'm fine." But his eyes told me something different. When he was 18, he met Linda. She was 20. She was studying business at college. She came from a rich family. Her dad owned many stores. Linda drove a new car. She wore expensive clothes. She took Marcus to fancy restaurants. I didn't trust her. Something about the way she looked at me made me uncomfortable. Like I wasn't good enough. But Marcus was in love. I wanted him to be happy. They got married when he was 24. I planned the whole wedding. Found the place. I hired the people to make food. I ordered the flowers. I paid for everything with money my husband and I had saved. $13,000. It was all we had saved in 12 years. But it was my son's wedding. It was worth it. The ceremony was beautiful. Linda wore a white dress with lace. She looked stunning. She walked down the aisle with her father. I cried in the front row. Happy tears. Proud tears. Hopeful tears. After the wedding, Marcus moved with Linda to an apartment in a nice area. I visited every week. Brought food. Helped clean. He seemed happy. But there was something in her eyes that worried me. Sadness. Tiredness. 2 years later, Emma was born. Linda had problems during pregnancy. High blood pressure. Risk of serious illness. She had to stay in bed for the last 3 months. I went every day. I cooked. Cleaned. I bought groceries. Marcus worked all day. He came home late. He almost never asked how Linda was feeling. When Emma was born, I was at the hospital. Linda needed emergency surgery. I waited outside for 3 hours. Prayed. Cried. Finally, the doctor came out. Everything is fine. Mother and baby are healthy. I went in to see her. Linda looked pale and tired. She held Emma against her chest. She looked at me and smiled. "Thank you for being here, Margaret." The first months were hard. Emma cried a lot at night. Linda wasn't sleeping. Marcus slept in another room because he said he had to work early. I stayed with Linda many nights. I held Emma. I rocked her. Changed diapers. I made bottles. 3 years later, Tyler was born. Another difficult pregnancy. Another emergency surgery. I was there again. Caring. Cooking. Cleaning. Being the support that nobody else was. Meanwhile, my husband was getting sicker. His heart was very weak. The doctors said he needed surgery. A new heart valve. The surgery cost $50,000. Insurance covered half. We needed the rest. I asked Marcus for help. He and Linda were making good money now. Marcus worked at Linda's father's company. He earned a good salary. They lived comfortably. I explained everything to them. "It's your dad," I said. "He needs this surgery to live." Marcus talked to Linda. He said they could lend us $6,000. No more. "We have our own bills, Mom. The kids. The mortgage. We can't give more." $6,000. When I had paid for their entire wedding. When I had watched their children for free. When I had given everything. I got the money by selling jewelry, furniture, and borrowing from friends. The surgery happened. My husband lived. But something broke inside me that day. I understood that to my son, I was only useful when he needed me. My husband lived for 5 more years. Quiet years. We sat in the garden in the afternoons. We watered the roses together. We talked about life. About Marcus. About the grandkids. He always said, "Marcus will change. You'll see. When he grows up more, he'll appreciate you." I wanted to believe him. He died one morning in September. Heart attack in his sleep. No pain. I woke up and he wasn't breathing. Called the ambulance. I called Marcus. He came 2 hours later. Linda didn't come. She had an important meeting, Marcus said. The funeral was simple. Not many people came. Marcus was with me during the ceremony. But after we buried him, Marcus left me alone at home. "Mom, I have to pick up the kids from school. You'll be okay." He didn't wait for my answer. I was alone in that house full of memories. Every corner reminded me of him. Of us. I couldn't stay there. I told Marcus I would sell the house. He got excited. Mom, we need help to buy a bigger house. The kids are growing. They need more space. And that's how I lost my home, my garden, my roses, all to help a son who now told me I came last. 2 weeks passed after that dinner. 2 weeks with no phone call, no message, no visit. It was like Marcus and Linda erased me from their lives. And strangely, I felt calmer than I had in years. I stopped sending messages asking about the kids. I stopped calling on Sundays. I stopped making extra food just in case they invited me over. For the first time in years, my weekends were mine. I read books. I watched old movies. I walked in the park near my apartment. I watched other people living their lives without carrying the weight of being unappreciated. But then on a Tuesday my phone rang. It was Marcus. I waited before answering. I let it ring 3 times, 4 times. Finally I answered. "Hi, Mom." His voice sounded happy. Too happy. Like when he was a little boy and wanted to ask for something. "How have you been? I've missed you." The words sounded empty. "I've been fine," I said. My voice was flat, cold. "Mom, I want to invite you to something special. This Saturday is Emma's birthday. She's turning 12. We want to have a family party. Just us. The kids miss you so much." The kids. He always used the kids to make me feel bad. "I don't know if I can," I said. "I have plans." Silence on the other end. Marcus didn't expect that answer. "Plans? What plans, Mom?" His voice changed. It wasn't sweet anymore. It was annoyed. "Personal ones," I said. I didn't owe him an explanation. "Mom, it's your granddaughter's birthday. What could be more important?" Now his voice sounded angry. Like I was the bad person for not being available right away. I took a deep breath. "What time?" 3 o'clock. "You can come at 2 to help me set up. You know how busy it gets with many guests." Many guests. I thought he said it was just family. "I'll come at 3, I said. Not 2. I wasn't going to show up early to work for free again. "Perfect, Mom. See you then. Oh, and if you could bring your special cookies, that would be great. Emma loves them." Course. They didn't just want me there. They wanted me to work. I hung up and stared at my phone. Something wasn't right. The call felt too planned. Nice. After 2 weeks of silence, Marcus wanted something. And it wasn't just cookies. Saturday came. I made the cookies the night before. Chocolate chip cookies with extra chocolate. Emma's favorite. I put them in a special container. I got dressed in simple clothes. Gray pants. A purple shirt. Comfortable shoes. I brushed my hair back. I put on a little lipstick. I looked in the mirror. 70 years old. Lines around my eyes. Age spots on my hands. But my eyes were still strong. I got there at 3 exactly. I rang the doorbell. Waited. Marcus opened the door. He was wearing jeans and a blue shirt. He smiled, but the smile looked fake. "Mom, glad you made it. Come in." I walked in with the cookies. The house was quiet. Too quiet. "Where are the guests?" I asked. "Oh, we changed plans. We decided to keep it small. Just us." Marcus closed the door behind me. The sound of the lock made me nervous. Linda came out of the kitchen. She was wearing jeans and an orange shirt. Hair down. No makeup. Nothing that looked like a birthday party. "Margaret, thanks for coming. Leave the cookies in the kitchen." I took them to the kitchen. The table was empty. No decorations. No balloons. No colorful plates. Nothing. "Where's Emma?" I asked. "She's upstairs with Tyler. They'll come down later." Linda crossed her arms. Marcus came into the kitchen and leaned against the counter. Both of them were looking at me. The feeling in the air was strange. Like they were waiting for the right moment to say something. "Sit down, Mom. We need to talk." There it was. The real reason they invited me. I sat in one of the chairs. Marcus and Linda sat across from me. He took her hand. A united front. "Mom, we've been thinking about what we talked about last time. About boundaries." Linda spoke slowly. We think it's important to have a deeper talk about expectations. Expectations. What a convenient word. Marcus cleared his throat. Mom, we appreciate everything you've done. We really do. But we've noticed that sometimes you have expectations about our time. About our attention. And that can be hard for us. I hadn't asked for anything. Not even a phone call. We want you to understand that our priority is our children, our marriage, our stability. Linda looked at me like she was explaining something to a small child. We can't be checking on you all the time. I haven't asked you to check on me, I said. My voice was calm. Strong. Well, not directly. But your constant calls. Your surprise visits. Marcus pointed at me with his finger like I was the problem. I haven't called in 2 weeks. I've never visited without being invited. Linda sighed. She sounded impatient. Mom, it's not about that. It's about us needing space. We need you to respect our boundaries. What boundaries? Yes. Tell me clearly what you want. Marcus and Linda looked at each other. Something passed between them. Silent message. We want you to stop showing up on Sundays expecting us to invite you for lunch, Marcus said. We want you to call no more than once a week. We want you to understand that we won't always be available for you. Every word felt like a slap. Anything else? Yes. Linda took a deep breath. Yes. We want you to stop bringing food every time you come. It makes Marcus feel like you're criticizing my cooking. I had never criticized anything. I just wanted to help. I just wanted them to eat well. Understood, I said. I stood up. Can I see Emma before I go? She's busy right now, Marcus said quickly. Maybe another day. Another day that would never come. The cookies are in the kitchen. Enjoy them. I walked to the door. Mom, don't leave angry. We just want things to be clear between us. Marcus followed me. His voice now sounded worried. Not for me. For how he looked. I'm not angry, I said. And it was true. I didn't feel anger anymore. Felt clarity. Everything is very clear now. Open the door. Before leaving, I turned around. Was it really Emma's birthday today? Marcus looked down. He didn't answer. It wasn't her birthday. The whole thing was a lie to get me there. To sit me down while they told me I was a burden. Left. Got in my car. I started the engine. As I drove back to my apartment, something changed inside me. No more sadness. No more hope that things would get better. Just decision. Cold. Clear. Final. If I was a burden in their lives, then they would disappear from mine completely. I got to my apartment and locked the door. I took off my shoes. I sat on the couch. I looked at the ceiling. The cracks looked like rivers on an old map. I took a deep breath. Once. 3 times. Something had ended. But something else was beginning. I got up and went to my bedroom. I opened the bottom drawer where I kept all my important papers. Old documents. Birth certificates. My husband's death certificate. And a folder I hadn't opened in 5 years. I took it out. I put it on the bed. Inside were all the papers from when I sold my house. The contract. The bank transfers. The receipts. $190,000 transferred directly to Marcus and Linda's account. With a note from me. For the down payment on your new house. With all my love, Mom. I sat on the bed and looked at every paper. The dates. The amounts. Everything was there. Black and white. Proof of my generosity. And proof of their silence. Took out my phone. I looked through my contacts for a name I hadn't used in years. Barbara Chin. My neighbor from the old house. The last time we talked was at my husband's funeral. She came. She hugged me. She told me, if you ever need anything, call me. Dialed. Rang 4 times. Hello. Her voice was rough but warm. Barbara, it's Margaret. Margaret Wells. There was a pause. Then a happy shout. Margaret. Oh my goodness. How long has it been? How are you? Where have you been? I need to talk to you, I said. In person. Of course. When? Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Perfect. Come to my house. Do you remember where it is? I remember. Hung up. I lay down on the bed with the folder on my chest. Closed my eyes. For the first time in weeks I slept deeply. The next day I woke up early. Showered. I got dressed in comfortable clothes. Brown pants. Cream shirt. A light sweater. Took the folder. Left. I drove 45 minutes to the neighborhood where I lived for 35 years. The streets looked familiar. Every corner had a memory. The bakery where I bought bread on Sundays. The park where I took Marcus when he was little. The pharmacy where my husband got his medicine. I got to Barbara's house. It was a one-story light green house with a garden full of plants. I knocked on the door. She opened it right away. Barbara was 68. Completely gray hair. Short and curly. Brown eyes behind thick glasses. She was thin and small, but her presence filled any room. Margaret! She hugged me tight. She smelled like coffee and flowers. Come in. Come in. I made tea. We went inside. Her living room was full of books. Shelves up to the ceiling. Books about law, history, novels. Barbara had been a lawyer for 45 years. She retired 6 years ago, but her mind was still sharp as a knife. We sat in her kitchen. She poured tea into blue ceramic cups. She put crackers on a plate. Tell me, she said. Everything. I told her everything. From my husband's death. The sale of the house. The money I gave Marcus. The years of watching their children. Linda's words. My son's coldness. The fake birthday invitation. Everything. Barbara listened quietly. She didn't interrupt. She sipped her tea. She nodded sometimes. When I finished talking, she put her cup on the table. Margaret, was that money a gift or a loan? A gift, I said. We never talked about paying it back. Do you have anything in writing that says it was a loan? No, she nodded. And did they promise you anything in return? To take care of you when you got old? To let you live with them? Marcus said I would eventually live with them. That's why I didn't need a big house. Do you have that in writing? Text messages? No. Barbara closed the folder. She leaned back in her chair. She looked at me seriously. Legally, it will be hard to get that money back. It was a gift. There's no contract. No written promises. He paused. But there's something that worries me more. What? Have you checked your bank accounts recently? Your documents? Do you have a will? I have a will. Everything goes to Marcus when I die. He knows that. Yes. Barbara drummed her fingers on the table. Margaret, I need you to do something today. Right now. I want you to go to your bank. Check every transaction for the last 5 years. Every withdrawal. Every transfer. I want you to check if anyone else has access to your accounts. Why? Because I've seen this before. Many times. Children manipulating older parents. Slowly taking control of their money. Making them sign papers without understanding what they're signing. She looked me right in the eyes. Does Marcus have power of attorney over you? My heart started racing. I don't know. Have you signed papers recently? Documents that he brought you? Did he ever ask you to sign something to make things easier? Or just in case something happened? Thought back. I remembered. 3 years ago, Marcus came to my apartment with some papers. He said they were to update my health insurance. Just sign here, Mom. It's just paperwork. I signed without reading. I trusted him. Yes, I said. My voice sounded weak. 3 years ago. Health insurance papers. Barbara closed her eyes. She sighed. Margaret, I need your permission to investigate. Have contacts. Can find out what you signed. I can check if there are strange transactions in your accounts. I can see if someone is using your name for something. Do you think Marcus is stealing from me? I don't know. But I'd rather find out now than when it's too late. Felt cold. A deep cold in my bones. Do it, I said. Find out everything. Barbara nodded. I need you to give me access to your documents. Your bank statements. Everything you have. And I need you to trust me. I trust you. We spent the next 4 hours looking at papers. Barbara took pictures of every document with her phone. She made calls. He sent emails. I just watched. I felt like I was watching my life from outside. Like this was happening to someone else. Finally, Barbara put her phone on the table. I need 3 days. 3 days to get information. Come back on Thursday at the same time. And in the meantime, don't say anything to Marcus. Nothing to Linda. Normal. If they call, answer. If they invite you, accept. I don't want them to know you're investigating. What if they ask me for money? Tell them you don't have any. Say your bills went up. Make something up. But don't give them anything. He nodded. I stood up. Barbara walked me to the door. Margaret, she said before I left. Be ready. Sometimes the truth hurts more than not knowing. I'm already hurting, I said. Now I just want to know how much. I drove back to my apartment. The sky was gray. Looked like it might rain. I went inside. Closed the door. I sat on the couch. My phone rang. It was Marcus. I took a deep breath. Answered. Hello, Mom. I just wanted to say sorry about yesterday. I think we were too hard on you. His voice sounded regretful. Calculated. Don't worry, I said. I understand. You really do. Oh, Mom, you've lifted a weight off my shoulders. I love you so much. You know that, right? I know. Hey, Mom. I need to ask you a favor. There it was. The real reason for the call. Tell me. I need to borrow $4,000. It's an emergency. Tyler needs braces and the dentist needs payment up front. $4,000. Barbara told me to say no. Marcus, I can't right now. My bills have been very high. Medicine. Rent. Mom, it's only $4,000. I know you have it. Please. It's for your grandson. I'm sorry. I can't. Silence. Then his voice changed. Cold. I see. Well, okay. Goodbye. He hung up. I stared at the phone. Something was very wrong. And in 3 days I would know exactly what. The 3 days went by slowly. So slowly. Each hour felt like a whole day. I tried to keep busy. I cleaned my apartment. I watched TV without paying attention. Cooked food I barely ate. My mind was somewhere else. On what Barbara might find. On what Marcus might have done. On Tuesday night, Marcus called me again. Mom, we got the money for Tyler's braces. A friend of Linda's family lent it to us. But I wanted to tell you it hurt that you said no. After everything we've done for you. Everything they had done for me. What an interesting way to look at things. I'm glad you got the money, I said. My voice was empty. Yeah, well, I just wanted you to know. He hung up without saying goodbye. Thursday finally came. I woke up at 6 in the morning even though my meeting with Barbara was at 10. Showered. I got dressed. Had coffee. Waited. By 8:30 I couldn't take it anymore. I got in my car and drove to her house. I got there 45 minutes later. I knocked on the door. Barbara opened it right away. Her face was serious. Too serious. You're early, she said. I couldn't wait any longer. She nodded. Come in. You need to sit down for this. We went to her living room. On the coffee table was a thick folder. Dark blue. Closed with rubber bands. I sat on the couch. Barbara sat across from me. She put the folder between us. Margaret, before I open this, I need you to breathe. I need you to be ready. Just tell me. Barbara opened the folder. She pulled out several papers. She put them on the table one by one. First, the papers you signed 3 years ago. They weren't to update your health insurance. She showed me a paper. This is a power of attorney. A full permanent power of attorney. You gave Marcus complete control over your money, your property, your medical decisions. Everything. I felt the floor moving under me. I didn't know. I know. He tricked you. And what's worse, he did it with a notary. Your signature is there. It's legal. I took the paper. My hands were shaking. There it was. My signature. Large and clear. next to words I never read. Words that gave my son total power over my life. But there's more, Barbara continued. She pulled out other papers. Bank statements. I've looked at your transactions for the last 4 years. There are withdrawals you didn't authorize. Small ones. $600 here. 100 there. 1,500. Never amounts big enough for you to notice. But added up. She showed me a paper with numbers marked in yellow. Added up, they total $28,000. $28,000 that Marcus has taken from your account over the last 4 years. I couldn't breathe. The air felt heavy. How? With the power of attorney, he went to the bank. He showed the document. The bank gave him access. He's been taking money little by little. He probably thought you'd never notice. But I check my statements. Do you check them carefully? Every transaction? Or do you just look to see if there's enough money? She was right. I only checked the balance. I never looked transaction by transaction. There's more, Barbara said. Her voice was soft but firm. She pulled out more papers. Marcus also tried to change who gets your life insurance money. The one your husband left. $60,000. He tried to put it only in his name. But he needed your signature and couldn't fake it. So it's still in both your names with him as the backup person. $60,000. The last money I had as protection. Why would he do this? My voice broke. I'm his mother. Barbara moved closer. She put her hand on mine. Because people do terrible things when money is involved. Especially when they feel they deserve it. What else? Yes. Because I knew there was more. I saw it. In her eyes. Barbara took a deep breath. She pulled out the last document. It was a printed email. A contact who works in elder care services gave me this. 7 months ago, Marcus made inquiries about nursing homes. Specifically cheap public nursing homes. And about the process for declaring someone mentally incompetent. The world stopped. What? He was looking into how to institutionalize you. How to have you declared incompetent so he could gain total control of everything. Your money. Your apartment. Everything. The tears started falling. I couldn't stop them. My own son wants to lock me up. Your own son wants your money. And you're in the way. I covered my face with my hands. Cried. I cried for the little boy I raised. For the years I gave to him. For the love I gave him without conditions. For the betrayal I never imagined. Barbara let me cry. She didn't say anything. She just sat there. When I finally stopped, I looked up. What can I do? Barbara straightened up. Her face changed. She wasn't the kind friend anymore. She was the lawyer. The fighter. First, we cancel that power of attorney today. I have a notary I trust. He's coming in 1 hour. You sign the cancellation and Marcus loses all access. What if he gets angry? Let him be angry. It doesn't matter anymore. What else? You change all your passwords. Bank accounts. Email. Everything. You open a new account at a different bank. You move your money there. You close the old account. I nodded, remembering everything. You change who gets your life insurance money. You remove Marcus completely. If you want, you put it in the name of a charity. Or you leave it empty until you decide. Yes. And finally, Barbara paused. We file a complaint for fraud. For elder financial abuse. We have proof. The unauthorized withdrawals. The power of attorney gotten by lies. He could go to jail. He'll go to jail. He could. Depends on the prosecutor. Depends on how far we want to push. But at minimum, there will be an investigation. His name will be flagged. And he'll have to return every penny. I thought of Emma and Tyler. My grandkids. Innocent in all of this. What about the kids? The children have their mother. They have family. It's not your job to protect Marcus from what he did. Not even for them. Not even for them. She was right. I had always put Marcus first. I had always protected him. I had always given up my own happiness for his. Not anymore. Do it, I said. Do everything. Barbara smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was a smile of justice. The notary will be here soon. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare all the documents. We're going to need several hours. Are you ready? I'm ready. We spent the rest of the day working. The notary came. An older man. Serious. Efficient. He looked at the original power of attorney. He prepared the cancellation. Sign. My hand wasn't shaking. It was firm. Barbara called the bank. She explained what happened. We made an appointment for the next day. I would open a new account. I would move all my money. I would close the old one. We called the insurance company. I changed who would get the money. I put it in the name of a foundation for older women who had nowhere to go. Seemed right. Finally, Barbara prepared the official complaint. I read it. Every word was true. Every accusation had proof. Sign. When will he know? Asked. The bank will tell him tomorrow that he no longer has access. The cancellation of the power of attorney is being recorded today. In 2 days, he'll get the notice about the investigation. He's going to call me. Probably. Don't answer. Or if you answer, don't argue. Just tell him to talk to your lawyer. My lawyer. Barbara smiled. Me. If you'll have me, I'll have you. We hugged. A long, strong hug. Thank you, I said. I don't know how to repay you. You already paid me 25 years ago. Remember. I remembered. Barbara had gone through a terrible divorce. Her husband took everything from her. She was left without a house. Without money. I let her live in my guest room for 8 months for free. And gave her food, support, friendship. That was different, I said. No. It was exactly the same. Helping someone when they need it most without wanting anything back. Now it's my turn. I left her house at sunset. The sky was dark orange. The clouds looked like pink cotton candy. Got in my car. I put my hands on the steering wheel. For the first time in years I felt something like power. Like control. Like hope. Marcus had played his game. But now it was my turn. And I wasn't going to lose. That night, I slept better than I had in months. I didn't dream. I didn't wake up in the middle of the night. I slept soundly. Like when I was young and didn't carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. I woke up at 7 in the morning. The sun came through my bedroom window. Thin beams of golden light showing the dust in the air. Got up. Showered. I dressed carefully. Dark gray pants. Clean white shirt. Closed-toe shoes. I brushed my hair back. I put on small gold earrings. I looked in the mirror. I didn't see a defeated woman anymore. I didn't see an abandoned mother. I saw someone taking control of her own life. Finally, at 9 in the morning I got to the bank. It was a different branch from the one I had used for years. Newer. Cleaner. The manager was waiting for me. A young woman in her 30s. Black suit. Red tie. Mrs. Wells, welcome. My name is Sarah Martinez. I understand from your attorney that you've had problems with someone accessing your account without permission. That's correct. I'm so sorry you went through that. Here we're going to make sure your money is completely protected. We're going to open an account with 2-step authentication. No one will be able to make transactions without your direct approval. Not even with power of attorney. Perfect. We filled out forms. Questions about my information. My address. My date of birth. Who should get the money if I die. I left that part blank for now. How much do you want to transfer from your old account? Everything. Down to the last cent. Sarah nodded. She didn't ask questions. She processed the transfer. $92,000. Everything I had left after Marcus's withdrawals. The transfer will process in 24 hours. In the meantime, your old account will be locked. No withdrawals allowed. Do you want to close it completely? Yes. I want not a single dollar left in there. Understood. I'll process that today. I signed the last papers. Sarah gave me a new card. Temporary checkbook. Access codes. If anyone tries to access your old account, they'll get a notice that the account is closed. They won't be able to find where the money went. Your privacy is protected. Thank you. I left the bank. Got in my car. I took a deep breath. Step 1 completed. I drove back to my apartment. On the way, I stopped at an electronics store. Bought a new phone. Prepaid. New number. No one would have that number except Barbara in important places. Got home. I spent the next 4 hours changing passwords. Email. Utility accounts. Everything. Long, complicated passwords. Impossible to guess. I wrote each one in a notebook that I kept in a safe place. I called the insurance company again. I confirmed the change. They sent me a confirmation email. I printed it. I kept it in my folder of important papers. 2 in the afternoon, my old phone rang. It was Marcus. I looked at the screen. I let it ring once, twice, 6 times. Finally, I answered. Hello, Mom. What the hell did you do? His voice was a scream. Pure anger. What are you talking about? The bank. I went to the bank to make a withdrawal and they told me I don't have access anymore. That the account is closed. What's going on? I closed that account. Why? Without telling me anything. I didn't have to tell you anything. It's my account. My money. But I have power of attorney. I have the right to access it. You had it. Not anymore. I cancelled that power yesterday. Silence. A long, heavy silence. What? His voice was now low. Dangerous. I cancelled the power of attorney you made me sign 3 years ago. The one you told me was for health insurance. The one you used to steal $28,000 from me. Steal from you. I didn't steal anything. That money was for family expenses. For things we needed. Things you never asked me about. Money you took without my permission. I'm your son. I don't need your permission. Yes, you do. And you don't have it anymore. I heard him breathing fast. Agitated. Mom, I don't know who put these ideas in your head. But you're making a mistake. I've only tried to help you. To protect you. Protect me by looking into nursing homes. By looking into how to declare me incompetent. Another silence. This one longer. Who told you that? It doesn't matter who. What matters is that it's true. I was only looking at options. Just in case you ever needed it in the future. I don't need anything from you, Marcus. And I definitely don't need you planning to lock me up so you can keep the little I have left. This is ridiculous. You're paranoid. You probably have dementia and don't even realize it. His words were arrows designed to hurt me. To make me doubt myself. But they didn't work anymore. I'm 70 years old, Marcus. I don't have dementia. I have clarity for the first time in a long time. Mom, please. Let's talk calmly. Come over. Let's discuss this like adults. I'm not coming to your house. And there's nothing left to discuss. What do you mean? I mean that starting today we're going to have a different relationship. Based on boundaries, on respect, and on consequences. Consequences. Are you threatening me? No, I'm informing you. I already filed an official complaint for financial abuse. The investigation will start in the next few days. I heard something fall on the other end. Choke sound. You did what? What I had to do. Protect myself. You can't do this to me. I'm your son. Think about Emma and Tyler. Think about what this will do to them. There it was. The last resort. The children as a shield. You should have thought about them before stealing from me. Before planning to put me in a home. Before treating me like I was just an ATM. Mom, I'm begging you. Drop the complaint. We can fix this as a family. We're not family anymore, Marcus. You said it yourself. Your family comes first. Come last. Remember. That was a misunderstanding. I didn't mean it. Yes, you did. And I believed you. And now I'm acting accordingly. If you go through with this, you'll never see your grandchildren again. Do you understand? Never. And there it was. The final threat. The one I knew would come. If you use your children as a weapon against me, you only prove I'm right. That you're not the son I thought you were. That you don't deserve what I gave you. You'll regret this. The only thing I regret is not doing it sooner. Hung up. I turned off the old phone. Put it in a drawer. I took out the new phone. Silence. I sat on the couch. My hands weren't shaking. My heart was beating normally. Felt light. Like I had dropped a weight I'd been carrying for years. I called Barbara with the new phone. "How did it go?" she asked. "He knows. He's furious. He threatened not to let me see the kids. That threat has no legal power. And besides, after this, you probably won't want to see him anyway." "You're right. How do you feel?" "Free." Barbara laughed. Soft, warm laugh. "Good. 'Cause this is just beginning. In the next few days he's going to increase the pressure. He's going to call. He's going to come to your house. He's going to try to manipulate you emotionally. You have to stay strong." "I will. And Margaret, there's something else you need to do." "What?" "You need to start living for yourself. Truly. Not just defending yourself from him, but building a life worth living. A life that's yours." Her words stayed with me after I hung up. She was right. For decades I had lived for others. For my husband. For Marcus. For my grandchildren. I had forgotten how to live for myself. Got up. I went to my room. I opened the closet. At the back was an old shoebox. I took it out. Inside were photos. Photos of when I was young. 25 years old. 30. Smiling. Happy. There was a photo of me at the beach. Long hair blowing in the wind. Bright yellow dress. Laughing. When was the last time I laughed like that? Closed the box. Put it away. Tomorrow I would start building. But today I just needed to rest. To know that I had taken the first step. And that there was no going back. The next 4 days were a storm. Marcus didn't give up. He intensified everything. Exactly as Barbara had predicted. The first day he called my old phone 19 times. He left voicemails. I listened to them only once. They started with begging. "Mom, please answer. We need to talk. This is a terrible misunderstanding." Then they moved to accusations. "Someone is manipulating you. Someone has brainwashed you. This isn't you doing this." And they ended in threats. "If you don't drop that complaint, you'll regret it. I swear." I deleted every message. I didn't answer any. The second day he showed up at my apartment. He knocked on the door at 7:30 in the morning. I was having coffee in the kitchen. I heard his voice from the other side. "Mom, I know you're in there. Open the door. We have to talk." I stayed still. Silent. "Mom, please. Let me explain." His voice was breaking. He sounded like he was crying. Part of me wanted to open the door. Part of me wanted to believe him. But I remembered the documents, the withdrawals, the nursing home inquiries, and I stayed where I was. After 25 minutes, he left. The third day, the official notice arrived. A brown envelope slid under my door. Picked it up. Opened it. Inside was a letter from the district attorney's office. Notice of formal investigation for elder financial abuse. Marcus Wells and Linda Wells were named as subjects of investigation. They had to appear for questioning in 12 days. I called Barbara. The notice arrived. "Good. And how do you feel?" "I feel bad." "That's normal. But remember why you're doing this." "I remember." "Then stay strong. What comes next will be worse. But you have to hold on." She was right. That afternoon my old phone rang again. This time it was Linda. Answered. "Margaret. It's Linda." Her voice was calm. Controlled. Too controlled. "I know who you are. We need to resolve this like civilized people. What you're doing is unnecessary. It's destructive. It's affecting the whole family. The family was already destroyed. I'm only bringing the truth to light. The truth is that Marcus has always tried to take care of you. He's always checked on you. And this is how you repay him. With false accusations. With an investigation that can ruin his reputation. The accusations aren't false. I have proof. Proof of what? That your son used money you gave him freely. That he tried to help you plan your future. That's not abuse. That's love. Love would be asking me before taking my money. Love would be including me in decisions about my own life. Linda sighed. Margaret, be reasonable. Drop the complaint. We can all sit down. Reach an agreement. There's no agreement possible. Then let me be clear. Her voice changed. It wasn't calm anymore. It was harsh. If you go forward with this, you'll be alone. Completely alone. Marcus will never speak to you again. The children won't know you. You'll die in that miserable apartment with no one to cry for you. Her words were poison. Designed to scare me. To break me. If that's my reality for defending my dignity, I accept it. You're a bitter, selfish old woman. And you're a thief hiding behind your husband. Hung up. My hands were shaking now. Not from fear. From rage. From anger. How dare she? How dare she call me selfish after everything I had given them? I took a deep breath. Once. 12 times. The phone rang again. I didn't answer. It rang 7 more times. I turned it off. I couldn't sleep that night. I stayed awake looking at the ceiling. Thinking about Emma and Tyler. Their little faces. Their hugs. Would I ever see them again? Were they manipulating them against me? Were they telling them lies about their grandmother? Tears rolled down my cheeks. I cried silently. For them. For what I had lost. For what I would never have. But I did not drop the complaint. On the 4th day, I got a text message from an unknown number. Opened it. Grandma, it's Emma. Dad and Mom say you're sick. That you've lost your mind. Is it true? Miss you. Why don't you come see us anymore? My heart broke. They were using the child. They were putting her in the middle. Texted back. Emma, I'm not sick. I'm fine. I love you very much. But right now your dad and I have adult problems. It's not your fault. Never forget that. Will we see each other again? I don't know, sweetheart. But I'll always love you. No matter what. Mom is crying all the time. She says you hurt her. Why did you hurt her? Closed my eyes. How do I explain to a 12-year-old girl that her father stole from me? That he tried to lock me up? That he used me for years? Sometimes adults have to make difficult decisions to protect themselves. That's what I'm doing. I don't understand. You will understand someday. I promise. There were no more replies. I blocked the number. Not out of cruelty. But out of survival. I couldn't let them manipulate me using the children. On the 5th day a certified letter came. I signed for it. Opened it. It was a letter from a lawyer. Representative of Marcus Wells and Linda Wells. The letter said they were considering filing a counterclaim for defamation. That my accusations were false and harmful. That I had 72 hours to drop the complaint or face legal consequences. I called Barbara. I read her the letter. She laughed. It's an intimidation tactic. It's baseless. You have proof. They're scared. Ignore it. Are you sure? Completely. In fact, this gives me more ammunition. They're trying to silence you with legal threats. We'll add that to the file. What if they really sue me? Let them. They'll lose. And it'll cost them money they don't have. That night I slept a little better. On the 6th day, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I answered carefully. Margaret Wells. Who's calling? This is Detective Susan Ramirez. I'm in charge of the financial abuse investigation you filed. Do you have time to talk? Yes. We've reviewed the evidence your attorney presented. Solid. Very solid. The unauthorized withdrawals are documented. The power of attorney obtained by deception is clear. We have enough to proceed. What does that mean? It means we're going to call your son and daughter-in-law in for questioning. We're going to interrogate them. We're going to review all their accounts. If we find more irregularities, we'll file formal charges. How long will that take? It depends on their cooperation. If they confess and return the money, it could be resolved quickly. If they resist, it could take months. I understand. Mrs. Wells, I need to ask you something. Are you sure you want to go forward? These cases are difficult, especially when they involve family. Things get ugly. They're already ugly, detective. And yes, I'm sure. Very well. We'll keep you informed. Hung up. I sat on the couch. I looked out the window. The sky was gray. Heavy clouds threatened rain. I thought of Marcus, of the boy he was, of the man he became, of how money had changed him. Or maybe he had always been like that and I never wanted to see it. Thought of myself, of the woman I had been. Compliant, generous to the point of sacrifice, invisible, and of the woman I was learning to be. Firm, protected, visible. There was no turning back. The storm was just beginning. But I had an umbrella. I had a shield. I had Barbara. And for the first time in years I had myself. 3 weeks passed. 3 weeks of silence from Marcus and Linda. It was a strange silence. Unnatural. Like the calm before a bigger storm. I knew something was happening behind the scenes. Barbara kept me informed. They were called in for questioning today, she told me over the phone. Detective Ramirez has everything ready. Evidence. The bank statements. The fraudulent power of attorney. Everything. What will happen? They'll be interrogated separately. They'll look for inconsistencies in their stories. If one of them breaks, everything collapses. Do you think they'll confess? Linda won't. She's too calculating. But Marcus maybe. When he sees the evidence is undeniable, he might try to save himself by blaming Linda. I couldn't sleep that night. I imagined the scene. Marcus sitting in an interrogation room. The detective showing him the papers. The withdrawals. The dates. The amounts. His face when he realized there was no escape. Part of me felt satisfaction. But another part, a small part that still remembered when he was a baby, felt pain. The next day I waited by the phone. Barbara had told me she'd call after the interrogations. The hours passed slowly. I made coffee. I didn't drink it. I tried to read. I couldn't focus. I walked around my apartment. From the living room to the kitchen. From the kitchen to the bedroom. Over and over. At 4:30 in the afternoon the phone rang. Margaret. It went exactly as I thought. Linda denied everything. She said the withdrawals were verbally authorized by you. That you signed the power of attorney knowing perfectly well what it was. That this whole thing is an invention by someone who manipulated you. What about Marcus? Barbara paused. Marcus broke down. He cried for 40 minutes. He confessed that he tricked you with the power of attorney. He admitted he took money without your permission. But he tried to justify it. Said it was for family emergencies. That you never asked what it was spent on. That he assumed it was okay. Assumed? Yes. As if assuming was enough to take $28,000 from your account. What happens next? The prosecutor will review the case. They'll decide whether to file formal charges. But Margaret, there's something else. What? The detective investigated deeper. She found other things. Marcus used your health insurance to pay for Linda's cosmetic procedures. Botox, face fillers, dental work. It totaled another $9,000 in insurance fraud. Felt dizzy. Had to sit down. I'm sorry. But it's better you know everything. $37,000 total. $37,000 they stole from me while I lived in a small apartment eating canned soup 4 times a week to save money. There will be charges. Most likely. Insurance fraud is a federal crime. That no longer depends on you. The government is going to pursue it anyway. Hung up. I stayed seated on the couch. Motionless. Processing. My son was going to face criminal charges. He could go to jail. His reputation would be destroyed. His life as he knew it would be over. And I had been the one who lit the match. Did I regret it? No. The next few days were chaotic. The news leaked. Small towns are like that. Rumors fly faster than the truth. I got calls from people I hadn't seen in years. Neighbors from my old house. Co-workers from the flower shop. all with the same question. Is it true your son stole from you? I answered with the truth. Simple. Direct. Yes. Some offered support. You did the right thing reporting him. No one deserves to be treated like that. Others judged me. But he's your son. Family forgives. Family doesn't report its own. I stopped answering the phone. A week later, Barbara called me early in the morning. Turn on the news. Local channel. Now. I turned on the TV. Found the channel. There it was. A report. Local man accused of defrauding elderly mother. Marcus Wells, age 39, is facing charges of elder financial abuse and health insurance fraud. According to court documents, Wells obtained power of attorney through deception and withdrew more than $37,000 from his mother's accounts over 4 years. They showed a photo of Marcus. An old photo from when Emma was born. He looked young, happy, innocent. Then they showed the house. The house they bought with my money. Cameras outside. Reporters knocking on the door. Linda came out. She looked furious. No comment. This is a misunderstanding. Get off my property. She slammed the door. The reporter continued. The victim, Margaret Wells, age 70, declined to give a statement. But her attorney confirmed that the accusations are true and that there is substantial evidence. I turned off the TV. The whole town knew now. Everyone would be talking. Marcus wouldn't be able to go to the grocery store without being pointed at. Linda wouldn't be able to go to work without facing stares. The children would hear things at school. I felt bad for Emma and Tyler. It wasn't their fault. But it wasn't mine either. 3 days later, the prosecutor filed formal charges. First-degree elder financial abuse. Health insurance fraud. Fraudulent obtaining of power of attorney. Each charge carried possible prison time. The trial date was set for 7 months later. Marcus hired a lawyer. An expensive one. Paid for probably with money they still had left from what they stole from me. The lawyer tried to negotiate. He offered to return the full amount plus interest. He offered a public apology. He offered community service. Anything to avoid jail. The prosecutor consulted with me. Mrs. Wells, if you accept the agreement, your son will return $39,000. He'll perform community service. He'll be on probation for 5 years. He won't go to prison. What do you think? What about the insurance fraud? The government will pursue that charge anyway. But they'll probably also reach an agreement. Thought. $39,000. More than they took from me. The freedom of knowing Marcus faced consequences without completely destroying his life. I accept, I said. But with one condition. What is it? That part of the agreement includes that he and Linda can never contact me again. Permanent restraining order. If they try to approach me, they violate the agreement and go to prison. The prosecutor nodded. I can include that. A week later we signed the agreement. Marcus and Linda also signed. We didn't see each other. Each signed in separate offices. I got a check for $39,000. I deposited it into my new account. My balance was now over $130,000. More than I had before all this started. Marcus completed 250 hours of community service at a nursing home. The irony was perfect. Linda lost her job. Her father's company didn't want the scandal. They fired her quietly. They had to sell the house. The house bought with my money. They moved to a small apartment. 2 bedrooms. Similar to mine. The children changed schools. To avoid bullying. To start over. I watched everything from afar. Without joy. Without sadness. Just with the calm of knowing that justice, though painful, had been served. Barbara visited me one afternoon. How do you feel? Empty. That's normal. You just closed a huge chapter of your life. And now what? Now I live. Truly. For myself. She hugged me. Long strong. She was right. The past was buried. The accounts settled. The betrayal exposed. Now came the hardest part. Building a new life from scratch. At 70 years old. But for the first time in decades, That life would be completely mine. 4 months after the agreement, I woke up one morning and something was different. The light came through the window differently. Brighter. Warmer. Or maybe it was me who was seeing differently. Got up. I made coffee. I sat by the window. I looked at the parking lot below. Cars. People going to work. Life happening. And for the first time in years I felt like I was part of that life too. Not just watching. I made a decision. I called Barbara. I want to move. Move. Where? I don't know yet. But far from here. Far from the memories. Far from everything. That sounds perfect. Do you need help? Yes. I need you to help me sell this apartment and look for something new. In another city. Near the mountains. Barbara laughed. The mountains. How specific. I always wanted to live near the mountains. When I was young, my husband and I talked about retiring in a mountain town. We never did. There was always something more important. Marcus's education. A house. The bills. Always something. Well, now there's nothing stopping you. She was right. In 3 weeks I sold the apartment. It wasn't worth much. But added to the recovered money, I had enough to start over. Barbara helped me look. We found a small apartment in a mountain town 5 hours away. Single floor. 1 bedroom. Small kitchen. But it had a balcony. And from the balcony you could see the mountains. I bought it without hesitation. Packed my things. I didn't have much. Some books. Photos. I decided to keep my husband's. Marcus's when he was a child. My grandchildren's. Although I would probably never see them again, I wanted to remember that they were once mine. On moving day, Barbara came to say goodbye. Are you sure about this? She asked me. Completely. What if you feel lonely? I've been lonely for years. Surrounded by people but lonely. Now, at least it'll be a chosen loneliness. We hugged. We cried a little. But they were good tears. Tears of closure. Of gratitude. Thank you for saving me, I told her. I didn't save you. You saved yourself. I just gave you the tools. Got in my car. The same old blue sedan. I drove for 5 hours. Long roads. Changing landscapes. Valleys. Hills. And finally the mountains. When I got to town I got out of the car and breathed. The air smelled of pine trees. Of freedom. My apartment was small but perfect. Clean white walls. Light wood floor. Large windows. And that balcony. That balcony with a mountain view. Anne packed slowly. I arranged my things. I put the photos on a shelf. I hung up my clothes. I organized the kitchen. On the 4th day, I decided to do something I had never done. Take a painting class. I signed up for a watercolor class for beginners. The instructor was a young woman. Patient. Kind. She taught me to mix colors. To use the brush. To not be afraid of mistakes. You paint very well for your age, she told me one day. I paint well for any age, I replied. She smiled. You're right. I started exploring the town. Quiet. There was a library. A bakery that smelled of cinnamon and fresh bread. A farmer's market every Saturday. Friendly people who said hello without knowing you. I started walking in the hills every morning. Slowly. Feeling the earth under my feet. The cool air on my face. The sun on my skin. I met other women. Women my age. Some widows. Some divorced. Some who had also run away from toxic families. We met on Wednesdays for tea. Talk. To laugh. One of them, Patricia, told me one day. It's never too late to start over. I'm 70, I replied. So what? You're still breathing. You're still walking. You still have dreams. That's enough. I started writing. First just for myself. My story. My memories. Everything I had lived through. The betrayal. Pain. Injustice. The freedom. I wrote every night on the balcony with a mountain view. With the sound of wind in the trees. One day I got a letter from the old town. I recognized it by the sender. It was from Emma. My heart raced. I hesitated before opening it. I let it sit on the table for an hour. Finally I opened it carefully. Grandma, I'm 13 now. I understand more things. Dad told me everything. What he did. How he hurt you. He says he's sorry, but I know it's too late. I want you to know that I'm not mad at you. I understand why you did what you did. And even though I can't see you, I love you. I'll always love you. I hope you're happy wherever you are. Your granddaughter, Emma. Cried. I cried for her. For her innocence. For her understanding beyond her years. I wrote her back. I told her about the mountains. About my new life. About the women I had met. About the painting class. I told her I loved her. That I would always love her. And that when she was an adult, if she wanted to find me, I would be here. Waiting. I sent the letter. I don't know if Marcus let her read it. But I did my part by sending it. Months passed. Summer turned into fall. Fall into winter. Each season brought something new. New friendships. New routines. New peace. I turned 71. My friends threw me a small party at the community center. Vanilla cake. Candles that kept blowing out from the drafty windows. Laughter. Of-key singing. That night, alone on my balcony, I looked at the mountains. The peaks covered in snow. Strong. Eternal. Unchanging. I thought about the whole journey. Of the woman I was. Invisible. Compliant. Sacrificing. And the woman I was now. Visible. Firm. Free. I didn't have family nearby. I didn't have grandchildren knocking on my door. I didn't have a son calling me on Sundays. But I had something more valuable. I had myself. Whole. Complete. And that, I discovered, was enough. More than enough. One morning in spring, I was sitting on my balcony with my coffee. The sun was rising behind the mountains. Pink and orange lights spreading across the sky. My phone rang. My new phone. The number was unknown. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick it up. Hello. Grandma. It was a young voice. Nervous. Hopeful. Emma. Yes, it's me. I'm calling from a friend's phone. Dad doesn't know. My heart was pounding. Emma. Oh, sweetheart. How did you find my number? I found the letter you sent. Dad had hidden it. Kept it. And there was a return address. I called the post office in your town. They gave me the number for the apartment building. The landlord gave me your number. I hope that's okay. It's more than okay. Grandma, I turn 14 next month. Dad says I'm old enough to make my own decisions about who I want in my life. I want you in my life. Can I come visit you? Tears were streaming down my face. Yes, of course you can. Tyler wants to come too. He misses you. He still has all the drawings you kept. Dad gave them back to him. I would love to see you both. Both of you. Grandma, I need to tell you something. Dad's different now. He's been going to therapy. He talks about what he did. He cries sometimes. He says he was greedy. That he forgot what was important. He doesn't expect you to forgive him. But he wanted me to tell you he's sorry. Truly sorry. Closed my eyes. I took a deep breath. Thank you for telling me that, Emma. But I need you to understand something. What your dad did hurt me deeply. And even if he's sorry, some things can't go back to the way they were. I understand, Grandma. I'm not asking you to be his mom again. I'm just asking you to be my grandma. I never stopped being your grandma. Not for one day. So can we come? In 2 weeks. During spring break. Yes. I'll send you the address. You can stay here with me. I have room. Thank you, Grandma. I love you. I love you too, sweetheart. So very much. We hung up. I sat there on my balcony, looking at the mountains, feeling the morning sun on my face. I wasn't sure what would happen next. I didn't know if seeing the children would bring back all the pain, or if it would bring healing. But I knew one thing. I had built a life for myself. Good life. Peaceful life. And whether Emma and Tyler became part of that life or not, I would be okay. Because I had finally learned the most important lesson. That loving yourself is not selfish. That protecting yourself is not cruel. That saying no is not mean. That putting boundaries up is not being cold. It's being human. being wise, being whole. 2 weeks later, Emma and Tyler arrived. Marcus drove them. He didn't get out of the car. He just waved from the driver's seat. A wave back. Small wave. Acknowledgement. Not forgiveness. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But acknowledgement. Emma ran to me. She hugged me tight. She had grown so much. Almost as tall as me. Grandma. Tyler followed. Still quiet. Still gentle. He handed me a folder. I brought you my new drawings. We went inside. I showed them my apartment. My small kitchen. My bedroom. The balcony with the mountain view. It's beautiful here, Grandma, Emma said. It's peaceful, I replied. That's all I wanted. Peace. We spent 3 days together. We walked in the hills. We visited the farmer's market. We painted together. Emma tried watercolors. Tyler drew mountains. Cooked simple meals. We ate together. Talked. They told me about school. About their friends. About their lives. They didn't talk much about Marcus and Linda. And I didn't ask. On the last day, as Marcus was coming to pick them up, Emma sat with me on the balcony. Grandma, are you happy here? I am. I'm glad. You deserve to be happy. So do you, sweetheart. Will we come back? Can we visit again? Anytime you want. My door is always open for you and Tyler. What about Dad? Will you ever talk to him again? I thought carefully about my answer. I don't know, Emma. What your dad did broke something between us. Something that might never be fixed. But that doesn't change how much I love you and your brother. You're not responsible for what he did. And you never will be. She nodded. She understood. Marcus arrived. The kids hugged me goodbye. Long hugs. Tight hugs. I love you, Grandma, Emma whispered. I love you more, I whispered back. I watched them drive away. The car disappearing down the mountain road. And I felt something I hadn't expected. Hope. Not hope that Marcus would change. Not hope that everything would go back to normal. But hope that Emma and Tyler would grow up to be good people. People who understood the difference between right and wrong. People who valued honesty and respect. And hope that I still had time. Time to build more memories. Time to live more fully. Time to be me. I went back inside. Made tea. I sat on my balcony. The sun was setting behind the mountains. Purple and gold light painting the sky. I thought about everything that had happened. The betrayal. The investigation. Pain. Justice. The freedom. And I realized something. I had spent so many years being what other people needed me to be. Wife. A mother. A grandmother. Helper. A giver. I had forgotten to be Margaret. Just Margaret. But now, finally, I was learning. Learning that my life belonged to me. That my happiness mattered. That my peace was worth protecting. And that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from people who hurt you. Even when those people are family. Even when it breaks your heart. Even when the whole world tells you that family should forgive everything. Because some things are unforgivable. And that's okay. If you made it this far, thank you for joining me in this story. I know it's hard to talk about these things. About family betrayal. About abuse. About having to choose yourself over those who should love you. But if you're going through something similar, I want you to know this. You are not alone. You deserve respect. You deserve dignity. And it is never ever too late to defend your peace. Leave a comment telling me what part of the story touched your heart the most. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share this story. This is Granny's voice. Take good care of yourself. And remember, your life belongs to you.